Hello everyone. Today's tutorial is on my bag, the Classy Clutch, but I'm going to hack it up a little bit to look like this bag here. And it's almost similar to the shape of the Kisslock Coach bag. So that's today's hack. I'm only going to show you how to alter my pattern to get the shape of this bag here. You can follow this tutorial here to put it all together. So with further ado, let's get started. Hello everyone. Today is the hack of my pattern, the Classy Clutch bag, and a lot of my viewers were waiting for me to show you how to hack up the bag with making a wider opening and also attaching the D-rings to the exterior of the bag. Okay, the materials that you would need are the large Classy Clutch pattern, just the exterior, because the exterior and the interior are the same. So you would just need one pattern piece. You need a see-through ruler, some paper cutters, pencil, eraser, measuring tape, some Scotch tape, some tracing paper in whatever frame you prefer to use. Okay, for the hack for the Classy Clutch bag, you will need this pattern piece as a reference to the width of your bag. Now, don't mind these measurements up here because whatever frame you use, you're just going to use the width of this pattern. Get my tracing paper. Lay my pattern piece on top of the tracing paper. And I'm going to tape the sides, the top, and the other side. Okay, you don't have to worry about that at the bottom. You're just worried about the sides and the top. So I'm going to take my ruler and my pencil and let me just cut this extra off. Okay, I'm going to measure my frame, the sides, the top, and to the other side. Just one side, not both sides, just one side. So I am measuring, say, what are the sides? 3 1/4 inch. So 3 1/4 inch times 2, because you have two sides. So 3 1/4 inches times 2 equals 6 1/2. And for the top, across the top, you have 14 inches plus 14 equals plus 14 equals 20 1/2 inches. Okay, so 20 1/2 inches from this frame I'm using. You put that aside because this is one side of the pattern, like this is the front and this is the back. This is like one side. So two sides of the pattern. I'm only doing one side of the pattern. I'm not doing the whole frame. I'm not measuring the whole frame. So let's be clear on that. So right now I'm just doing one piece, which is, you're going to have to cut 2 pieces of leather or vinyl anyway. So I'm just doing one piece. So 20 1/2 inches So when you fold the pattern in half, from the center over, divide 20½ by 2 because you have two sides. So divided by 2 equals 10¼ So from the center, measure 10¼ All right, so 10¼ plus whatever seam allowance you want to use is, I want to use 3/8 seam allowance. So I would use plus 3/8 seam allowance equaling 10 5/8. So the pattern piece already has the seam allowance added into it, so I don't have to add any extra seam allowance. So I'm going to cut the tracing paper off the sides. All right. So only thing you have to do is just put some tracing paper underneath and make a line from the center top all the way over to the side of the pattern. And that's it. You're going to cut that excess seam paper off. And you don't need this underneath here. So only thing you needed was to fill this opening. Only thing you need to do is fill this opening, because my frame fits my pattern piece. And like I said, you can use this pattern piece as a template for whatever frame you're going to use. But make sure you measure from the elbow on the sides, upper top to the other side, and add your seam allowance. This is the width of the seam allowance already. So whatever pattern piece you add the seam allowance, because this is what the excess fabric is, that's what you're going to have to tuck in between the frame. So the width of the seam allowance is a quarter of an inch wide seam allowance. I'm adding 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, so on this pattern piece, so it's already fine. So that's it. Just make 2 pieces of leather or 2 pieces of vinyl out of this template that you made. Okay? And when you bend it, this is the side. And this is the side. And this is the front of the bag. Okay? And that's it. See? Let me show you. Seam allowance, all the way around. To the other side. Okay. That's it. And you will have to make this template for the interior as well. I'm going to show you how to fit the bottom of your new pattern piece too. To do. Now, if you have to alter the bottom piece of the bag, only thing you have to do is trace out the opening of the frame for the bottom piece. And you trace outside of the frame. Do not trace inside of the frame, because the width of the frame is your seam allowance. Okay? Now for the D-rings. Since I went, let me show you here from the center of the bag, because I'm starting with the center of the lock. I went over 3.5 inches. So if this is the center, I went over 3.5 inches and down 3/4 of an inch. And that's where I'm going to make my cuts for my D-rings. Three-fourths of an inch. And whatever width your D-rings are, that's the width, the inside of your D-ring. So the inside width of your D-ring, that's the width of your slash that you're going to make to insert your fabric on both sides. So that's how you hack up the classy clutch bag. So this concludes the tutorial of the hack of the classy clutch bag. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for my upcoming tutorials. Take care, guys.